Head coach Wes Miller, opening statement, coach.
Well, I told the guys in the locker room that'll go in the book one day, to turn it over 24 times and win. And so this may sound crazy, but those are the best wins. Sometimes the best wins are when you can't make a shot, you can't throw it in the ocean, and you still find a way. Well, one time, years and years ago, we coaching a team, we gave up 24 made threes, 16 made threes in the first half, and we still won the game. And I think when you can overcome some things like that, the character piece is the part you're most proud of, and those are the ones you remember the most. But I'm really, really pleased that we won. I have so much respect for Anthony and for the Dayton staff. I've gotten to know those guys being in the area here. I respect them as people, I respect them as coaches, and I respect their program a lot. I don't think of them as an Atlantic 10 team. I think of them as a Power 4 team. So we found a way to win a game against a big-time program and a big-time team at home, and that part I'm really pleased with. I thought the running game had its good moments and bad moments, but when we were able to kind of crack them in transition there late in the second half, I think that's why you do it. It's a collective effect. It's not always going to happen early, but I thought it had some signs that you could see it could be really good. We got a lot of work to do defensively. We have a lot of work to do on the glass. We have a lot of work to do with our half-court offense when we play against different kinds of defenses. They were switching everything tonight, and we got a little stagnant. And we'll tell you what, it's a lot more fun to learn when you're winning. But we better take it as serious as we get back into the tape and get back to work with the players as if we wouldn't have won the game, because we do have quite a bit to do. But pleased that we found a way to win in spite of not playing our best basketball.
Open it up for questions, Chad.
You mentioned this a little bit. You mentioned this a little bit last week. Is this the hard part about not pulling back on wanting your team to play fast when you see as many kind of silly turnovers as they had tonight? A coach probably clearly wants to say, all right, maybe we should slow it down a little bit.
Yeah, you can't do that. If you want to be a great runner, and it's exactly why most teams only talk about running in recruiting. Well, everybody says they run in recruiting. I mean, everybody in recruiting says we're going to play fast. And then they talk about it in the summer in their practices and maybe a little bit into the fall. But when you get to it and it gets a little wacky out there, you want to kind of get back in control. And if we're ever going to be the kind of running team that I think we're going to be, we got to play through some stuff. Now, all these turnovers weren't because of our pace of play. Some of them were breaking the press. Some of them were footwork turnovers. Some of them were casual turnovers. But no, the other thing is, number one, nobody's going to work on getting better more than I am after I get out of this press conference. But number two, we won. So let's talk about winning too. Let's not just talk about everything we didn't do damn well. I mean, we just beat Dayton at home with a new team, and the team is trying to figure out how to get better. So I ain't going to let you guys make it negative. We might get negative in the film tomorrow a little bit, but this should be about the fact that we won first and foremost. We won the damn game. And that matters. By the way, the trait to find a way to win a game matters more than any detail or X and O or problem that happened during the game. We can bottle that trait up and keep it all year. We're going to be just fine. But, yeah, there's a lot to work on, and we're going to get to work on it tomorrow. But tonight, these guys need to enjoy winning. By the way, how great was Fifth Third tonight? When we made good plays and hustle plays, that place was on fire, and I'm glad our guys got to experience what it can be like in there.
Baba Miller didn't score till 9:06 remaining. What happened in the first 31 minutes, and then what happened once he took off, because he winds up plus 14 for you?
We won. That's what
I heard
happened.
that, yeah.
We won. I don't care who scores and when they score, and we got a team that's going to learn not to care about any of that either. But hey, it wasn't his night offensively there for a while, but he kept playing. He had a great impact on the game, and he finally cracked and made some great plays.
Defensively, I know you said there's stuff to work on, but they really struggled from three tonight. How much of that was you guys doing game plan, running them off the line, keeping them kind of in check and not didn't seem like they had many comfortable looks from three?
Yeah, I thought it was very important. And again, scouting this time of year is very difficult because you don't have a lot to go off of. Dayton has a bunch of new players too. I mean, certainly, Javon Bennett, who's really improved. I mean, he's so much better off the dribble than I remember the last couple years. But they have him back. They have Letang back, obviously, who's a terrific big kid, and maybe a couple others. But most of their rotational players are new guys. So preparing for the game is difficult, just like it was probably difficult for them. What I will say, we saw they were really aggressive downhill, that they're really trying to put pressure on you on the rim, whether it's, Durkak, whether it's who we played against when he was at Merrimack, Bryce Hurd, let's see here, Keontae Jones was so aggressive off the bounce on tape. Simon, he playing multiple positions, is aggressive off the bounce. Javon Bennett's become a player that does that. And then Deshaun Montgomery's crazy aggressive. So a big part of the scouting report was to contain the ball and then make sure that we tried to get to the guys that were shooters. And if it was a guy that maybe drives it a little better than he shoots it, make sure we do get a hand late. I thought there were times we really executed that well. And then I thought there were times that we did, and that'll be something we get to on the tape.
Coach Kerr just gave a couple minutes to praise Day for his performance tonight on Javon Bennett, then going 12 for 12 from the free throw line. Obviously, probably one of Day's best defensive games of his career. Just your thoughts on his performance and what the value he brings for this team.
I don't have words for the value because if I try to talk about Day's value with a couple sentences, I won't do it justice. He's the heart and soul of our group, and I think you guys all know that. I thought he was terrific tonight. That was a fun matchup to watch those two go at it a little bit, and I thought he was terrific. He got beat middle one time and fouled there late, but outside of that, I thought he was terrific. And we weren't good on the free throw line. I think we were 1 for 8 between Baba and Moo. But Day stepping up and going 12 for 12, and Sincere going 6 for 8. I was really proud of that.
Wes, you want to talk about reasons you won. I think 2 big moments were right before halftime. Baba picks up, the technical, maybe things aren't going your way, some adversity there, and then they cut it to 48-46, second half. The way you guys responded to those 2 moments, how would you characterize your response as a team?
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for the positive question. I appreciate it. We'll do the negative stuff in our film tomorrow, but there were some moments there because I thought we had played a really nice first half, but we kind of let them back into it there. We'll look at the tape on the technical and all that stuff, but that obviously hurts us, not just because it's a big swing in terms of the lead, but it also gets Baba from 1 to 3 pretty quick, and I thought that was a big momentum change. I thought we did a really nice job handling it. I think they cut it to 5 at one point there in the second half. We get it out of the net quick and advance it and score a basket right back on them. So that was one of the things we've been working on all preseason. No, I thought we handled the tough moments well tonight. You guys know this. That's a more important quality than anything else because you're going to have the tough moments and the type of games we're going to play, and we got to build on that.
Kind of going off of that, who did you see kind of step up and try to lead the group after so many discouraging moments, because those things can snowball, but it seemed like they just kept on bouncing back from the adversity of all the turnovers and all the things that didn't go their way?
Yeah, I think they all were about the right things, and they were saying the right stuff in timeouts to each other. We talked a lot about next play before the game. We knew they'd play hard. I mean, again, there's a lot of respect for Dayton. So if I singled one guy out, it wouldn't be fair to all the other guys. But I thought we saw a lot of positive mindset and attitude tonight.
Wes, you said that sometimes these are the ones that feel the best. Why is that? Why are when you make some mistakes but still find a way to win? Why is it that those feel the best?
Yeah, I think because it's early, and there's so much work to do for us to be the great team that I believe we can become. But the great teams win no matter what the circumstances are. They find ways. And so I think that quality, and I'm not saying we have it yet, but we're building it, that quality to find ways to win regardless of what the heck goes on out there, that's more important than any other thing we can talk about on the stat sheet. And the best teams that I've been around, coached, been a part of, they found ways to win no matter what the circumstances were. So to see, you can't break the press there for a while. There's a bunch of careless turnovers. They're making a couple runs based on your turnovers, and you find a way against a good team. Again, that's a really positive quality that we can build on. And if we'll build on it and embrace it, it could serve us very well when we get to Big 12 play.
Coach, Day mentioned how important it was for him to lock down Javon Bennett tonight. He was limited to 3 of 15 shooting. What does it mean to you as a coach when a player gives himself that kind of test and passes it with flying colors?
I think, you know, it's natural that every player is gonna think about what happens when the ball's in their hands, right? Whether they shoot it, do they pass it, do they make the right decisions? The game, a lot of times, is evaluated that way, unfortunately. But most of the game is played without the basketball in your hands. And so when you have a young man like Day that's able to evaluate himself that way and value those things, I think you have leadership and you have somebody that values winning. I think we have other guys like that, but it's nice to hear him not just, he's gonna be that way, but it's cool to hear Day starting to be able to verbalize those things.
Looked like there was a good deal of switching tonight. 3, 4, 5, especially from your, you know, small forward down. Is that something, as you develop, you think this team can grow into a strength, as those guys can all move pretty well and
Are switching.
are switching, yeah.
Yeah, 'cause they were switching everything.
Yeah, they switch everything.
Which surprised me, because they hadn't switched everything. Like you guys talk about game prep this time of year, it's gotta be more about your team, because, you know, they played a zone out of bounds tonight. They haven't done that one time in the 4 competitions, the 2 exhibitions. They switched everything. They've done some late switching in their pick and roll, and they've selectively switched some stuff off the ball to this point. But the level to which they switched tonight was a little bit different. And that's what basketball is like early in the year. As far as us, yeah, I think we're gonna have the ability to do quite a few different things defensively. We're still working on, like, we're still at like ABC right now with our defense and with our offense. So to get to the next stuff, we still gotta really improve at some of the very fundamental things of our half-court man-to-man defense. But I think we're gonna be a team that can switch defenses. I think we're gonna be a team that can scheme a little bit and start switching some stuff. But I don't think that's gonna happen overnight. I think it's gonna be a process.
Any more questions for Coach? Last one, Neil.
Coach, a big moment in this game was when, obviously, Dayton makes the run. Tyler McKinley has that big segment there. Could you just reflect on what that was like for him? Obviously, he gets the jumper, gets the rebound, and finds Day for the 3. How big was that segment and the turning point in this game, and how cool is it to have Tyler kind of see that moment there come to fruition?
It's just so nice to have him playing. Again, it's felt like I met with Tyler the first summer that I was the coach here. Again, whatever the first day you were allowed to meet with the young prospect, at whatever age he was, that was the first summer I was here. So there's been a relationship with Tyler and his family since the moment I came to Cincinnati, and it's felt like forever till he could put a jersey on and play. So just having him out there has been great. You guys can see how special of a player he's gonna become. And I thought he gave us great minutes tonight. I thought he had some moments, but I thought he was great in his pick and roll coverages, which was important, guarding Letang. I thought he gave great effort. And then, as you mentioned, some of the passing, you see the skill and the passing that he has in the front court, and you saw that during that stretch that you mentioned.
Thank you, Coach.
Thanks.
Thanks, Coach.